Welcome back to Primetime Local News. Josh and Buck got your sports talk here on a Monday. Things slowing down a little bit in this portion of the month, though they pick up again with baseball coming in, lacrosse, spring football. This past weekend, though, a couple of notable championships that were going on, as well as some playoff losses. And just breaking today, actually, Curtis Johnson, the head coach of the Bantam AAA Bobcats boys team, has resigned from his role as head coach.
Yeah, and the month of April is usually when the elite program looks at the coaching staff and sees where they're going to go forward with it. And probably at that time, that's when they reached out to Kujo to see what his future is, and Kujo stepped aside. So it'll be interesting to see if he's stepping aside for another coaching job or if he's just stepping aside because he has another business on top of it. So, you know, you have work and hockey sometimes don't mix well. So
yeah, and he did release a statement, as you can find here on his Twitter account, just saying it was personal reasons, reflecting on family, and as you said, his business as well, Kujo Conditioning. Did a nice job with that program. Went from a last place, basically a winless team, or almost a winless team, to 21-6-6 this season. Got to compete rather at the Allen Reed via an invite, which is not an easy invite to get, as well as competed in a few other big tournaments, and just came up short against a very good team out of Fort Sask this year in the playoffs. Yeah,
you know, had a good run in that playoff. Yeah, they ran against a very good team, but Kujo, more than anything, it's not just the record that he's going to be judged on, it's all the kids graduating and moving on to the midget AAA level. And you've seen such great players come through Kujo, whether it be his off-ice training or his on-ice coaching. You've seen those players advance on in the elite program. So it was great to see what he has done in the Bantam program.
And I'm sure wish him the best. Obviously, he'll do fine with his business, as he has done for a while now. We'll look forward to seeing any of the future hockey ventures from him. Moving back to the results portion of the segment, which is going to start with the Lloydminster Comprehensive Barons men's basketball team. They won their regional championship, their first ever Saskatchewan regional championship, after essentially being able to just qualify automatically most years out of the 4A level in this zone. But injury, unfortunately, befell them. Nikita Akopchanov, I think I still mispronounce the name. I keep doing it. Akopchanov, unfortunately, one of their key guys injured, and as a result, they were out their best player. Had a chance in the quarters, but ultimately fell 89-84.
And this is a special player, not just their best player. He's one of the best players that probably on the court, when they're facing anybody, he's the best player for either team. And he's a big guy, but he also has a nice touch from the three-point line. You know what? It's tough when you go forward and you're losing that big piece. I know they battled well, but you know, played against some pretty good teams out of Regina too.
That's true, and I mean, even in their loss in the quarterfinal, Diaz Legron, another key guy for them on both ends of the floor, but especially on the offensive end, tried to carry the load as much as possible, but they just weren't able to get stops down the stretch and match those three-point baskets from Winston Knoll, ultimately losing as well on the consolation side. One more unfortunate loss, though the season ended with a win, was the PWM Steelers, the AAA elite midget girls team. They do not get to continue their season. They knew it was going to be a challenge against the St. Albert Slash. They also, unfortunately, lost their first game 3-2 against the Calgary Fire, and as a result, won bronze on Sunday.
Whenever you go into a tournament like this, and we saw this with the Rohan Bobcats too, when you go into a round-robin tournament and you have to have strong round-robin games, that first game in the round-robin kind of sets you up for your next two games. Yeah. Unfortunately for them, they lose that first game, and it was an uphill battle after that.
And unfortunately, they weren't quite able to climb that hill. But again, ended the season with a win. Obviously, they won the challenge tournament in Winnipeg. Several girls got to play Team Alberta and win gold there. So a very memorable season for the Steelers. Lose a couple of key players, but
the great thing for the Steelers, those key players are going down south, and they got locked up scholarships, and that is what the Steeler program is all about.
Absolutely. And we'll have more on local and pro sports topics next hour on Primetime Local News.